Welcome back to Half Moon's Picks. Yes, this is an early release of a new video someone suggested for me, and I am willing to commit to it. I did my research and the numbers, and I will show you what I like and what I don't like as far as NFL futures. Just quick news this season. I'll be doing a video once a week on SBR Forum site. You can check that out. I will send you the link to their channel. And if you wish to do some sports bet booking online, please refer to me. I'll have that link in the description below as well. Okay, let's just get this off. Hopefully I won't make this a lengthy video. I will show you the last year's win totals along with their Super Bowl odds and what I think their prediction will be, whether to bet on it under or over the win percentage for the futures. Alright, so we're going to start off in the AFC East, where the New England Patriots, New York Jets, Miami Dolphins, and Buffalo Bills. And if you see the last year's totals, along with their Super Bowl odds and win totals there. Looking at this division is definitely one-sided, obviously. New England Patriots, Tom Brady. I always look at their quarterback as far as win totals. If their quarterback can stay healthy, and then you can, like Tom Brady, if he can stay healthy all year round, this is how I perceive on what they're going to do. So Vegas got them at 12.5. Not a good bet. I think they'll go 12-13. This season they won 5 in their division. Last year they only lost 1 game in their division. So they obviously gonna win their division again this year. High percentage. The only thing I can see if you're betting on if Tom Brady doesn't stay healthy, he is getting up there in the age, but this is not a good bet. So I'm staying no on that one. Now the Jets. Now they got a quarterback controversy where they got Hackenberg, Petty, and McCown, I think. So they don't even know who they're going with. That's always a sure way of disarray. But the Vegas got some, 500 to 1 to win the Super Bowl, which is the lowest in the NFL. Win totals at 4.5. Last year they went 5. They only won 2 games in their division, so not a good bet there. I think they'll win about 4 games. If that, 4.5 might be a little too high. I'd definitely lean under 4. See, Miami, well, they got Jake Cutler from the Bears. Ryan Tannehill, he has still a knee injury, so he might not start off the season. Jake Cutler, a lot of people dog him, but he's a halfway decent quarterback. Seen him from start to finish with the Bears as a Lions fan myself. He's not that bad. So, they got the win totals at 7.5. That might be a little too much, especially when you played New England twice. I got them at 6, the win this for the year. But, I'm going to stay away from that as well. Now, the one bet I do see in the AFC East is the Buffalo Bills. They're in the quarterback disarray. The Tyrod Taylor and TJ Yates, and they don't know who they're starting. Both those 2 quarterbacks are horrible. Last year they were 7-9, but like I said, they got new coaching staff. They replaced a lot of key players, a lot of ins and outs. I would say this is probably a start of a rebuild, so I don't expect them to do well at all. Now they got the win totals at 6, 101 to win the Super Bowl. I would definitely go the under on that. I think they're going to win 4 games this season. And they lost in preseason. Like I said, I just watched their first game preseason. They're horrible. I don't see them winning anything. So, of all the bets in this division, I go with the 4 wins with the Buffalo Bills. That would be under the win totals for the season. All right, moving on. Hopefully I'm not taking up too much time. We're going to the AFC West. Denver Broncos, Kansas City Chiefs, Los Angeles Chargers, and then the Oakland Raiders, and soon to be Las Vegas Raiders in a couple years. But let's see. Look at now. These are dedicated, the more stable, reliable teams. I also put in here. I forgot to mention is the strength of schedule, because this division has the top 4 strength of schedule for this season. So that'll mean they're playing tougher opponents. So the Denver Broncos, who I think, probably the only controversy in quarterback was Lynch and Simeon. They got win totals at 8.5. That is just too much for me. I don't think either of those two quarterbacks have come into play yet. They're still, hoping that they will, but nothing yet. And to me, in my eyes, even though they got a great defense and they do win games with defenses, but this offense is just horrifying. So, and that could lose games as well. So they got them at 8.5. I think that's too high. I'm going with a 6-game win total this season with Denver Broncos. So that'd be a good bet. Kansas City steady. I think they got them at 9. I think with the second, strength of schedule with Denver also, that first strength of schedule, they got the worst schedule in the NFL as well. So definitely a 6-game win there. And then Kansas City again, they were 12-4, but you're going to reduce that 12 to about 9 or 10. So then Vegas got them at 9. So not a good bet. Also with Kansas City, they're more of a run team. So the quarterback status, they can stay on the ground and pound, but like I said, the harder schedule, 9 and 10. Now the Chargers with Philip Rivers, the team's not that great. They were 5-11. Now this is the Chargers, the only Browns win last year. So the Browns were able to beat the Chargers. But, I know there's still injuries. But I've not seen the Chargers doing well this season at all. They won, 5 last year. I got them at 4. And their win total is at 7.5. Wow. It was the 3rd hardest schedule. Now, if I were to bet any bet of all the teams, this is the key bet I would bet. I would definitely bet the LA Chargers under 7.5 for a win total. Now, I don't know why Vegas got them so high. The hard schedule and not that great of a team. I know Philip Rivers, he's a decent quarterback, but on a bad team. I would definitely lay, under 7.5 for that. Then let's go to Oakland with Derek Carr as quarterback. He's expected to do well if he can stay healthy. They got him at win totals at 10. They won 12 last year. The only thing you could bank on, is Derek Carr made of glass. I mean, if you were to bet that, I wouldn't. But I got a lot of heat last year saying, he with the Derek Carr and saying, he's injury prone. But I was right. But a lot of people gave you a lot of slack for that. So if he can stay healthy, yeah, he could take that 10. So I'm betting on Oakland this year because I think they'll win 9 or 10 with the 4th hardest schedule. All right, moving to the AFC North with the Cincinnati Bengals, Pittsburgh Steelers, Baltimore Ravens, and Cleveland Browns. This division here, the Cincinnati Bengals win total is 8.5. 61 to win the Super Bowl. Andy Dalton still quarterback. Solid quarterback. Not much has changed with Cincinnati this year. They won 3-3 in their division. Good, 500 team. 8.5 is right there on the mark. I think they might not do as well. 7, kind of close. I think they'll win 7 games. Just looking at their schedule. They got the 29th ranked season. So they won 29th ranked of schedule. So that's pretty low. This whole division got real low. And so 8.5. They might win 7, I think, because they're not that great of a team. Andy Dalton does flub up a lot. So I would say 7, but that's kind of a strong lean to that one. Pittsburgh, they got 10.5. They won 11 last year. Roethlisberger, if Roethlisberger stays healthy all year, along with the rest of his teammates, oh my goodness, they can do some damage. but again, that has to be proven in order to, for me to bet on him. Actually, I got him at 9 and 10. Stay away from that bet. Same with Baltimore, a similar team. They go so close every year when they play. They got them at 9 games. I got them at 9 or 10. Yep, stay away from that. Cleveland Browns. Oh, the Cleveland Browns only won 1 game last year against the Chargers. They are 250-1 to win the Super Bowl. 4.5 win total. Osweiler, Kitzer, I think, and they got another guy, same pronounced, Kessler. I don't know. They got a low ranking schedule, 21 win percentage, so kind of low, but Cleveland is horrible. I got them at winning 2 games this season. They didn't win any in their division as well, so that'd probably be the sure bet. My bet, if I were betting on this division, win Browns under 4.5 wins. All right, moving on to the AFC South. We got the Houston Texans, the Tennessee Titans, Indianapolis Colts, and Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, I know a lot about this division simply because my uncle's a Jaguars fan. And I have some friends who have some Tennessee Titans fans, and another friend with the Indianapolis Colts. So, and our real good friend who loves the Texans. So I know a great fan of all 4 of these teams. Last year, Houston and Tennessee tied with 9 and 7. Now Houston again, the quarterback controversy. They got Tom Savage and Whedon, I think. Whedon is the backup. Again, 2 quarterbacks I'm not too fond of. They got the win percentage at 8.5, and they're 18-1 to win the Super Bowl. Too high for my blood. I got them at winning at 6 games on this, and I would definitely go under that 8.5. Now, Tennessee Titans, this is the team I think they probably win the division. Tennessee Titans. I mean, their defense is not that solid. Cornerbacks stink, but their offense is solid. They got a great run-pass mix, and then the division is really bad. So. And their strength of schedule is the 30th. So if I were to pick Tennessee Titans, they got them at 8.5. I got them winning at 9. So I probably wouldn't make that bet. I think they might win 10 even, but just 8.5 is right about that average. So I wouldn't bet on that team as far as futures go. Indianapolis Colts, Andrew Luck. Might miss the first part of the season, where Tolzien will be the quarterback. The news hasn't broken out there yet. We'll find out, later in the preseason. But they got the win totals at 9 for Indianapolis Colts. I got them winning like 7 or 8 games. I think Luck's on a downhill slope, and even if they bring in Tolzien, he's even worse. So I would best bet for this division would be the Colts under 9. And the final team, Jacksonville Jaguars, who finished 3-13 last year. Now in 2 of those games, those 3 were in the division. They got them at 6.5. Again, way too high for me. I got them winning at 3 or 4 games. I think Blake Bortles is do or die season. Chad Henning's there. Both quarterbacks not that great. Definitely take the under 6.5. Now moving on to the NFC. The NFC East with Dallas Cowboys, New York Giants, Washington Redskins, and Philadelphia Eagles. Strong strength of schedule, varying from 8th to 10th place. So they're going to have a harder schedule this season with all winning teams as an average. They got the Super Bowl highest as well. They got Dallas 8-1, Giants 14-1. The win totals, I see Dallas, they got 9.5. I see them 9.5, 10. I know, Dak Prescott's a dink and dunk kind of quarterback. They got a good run game. Now, I know Ezekiel Elliott suspended. His charges are pending. He's going back and trying to dispute those. But still, they got McFadden. He's still a decent running back. So they're still going to have a decent run to game. And Their offensive line is stunning. So what can you say? They're going to win 9 or 10 games. So I would stay away from that bet. Same with the Giants. Eli Manning's not as good as he once was, but they got that great defense again, and they can make the offense click sometimes. Good for a 9 or 10 win season again. Even if they got a stronger schedule this season. So stay away from that bet. Washington and Philadelphia. These are the two I would probably go with. They got the win percentage 7.5, and Philadelphia 8. Well, with Philadelphia, they got Carson Wentz. You know, he showed great signs at the beginning of the season. Second half of the season, just something just didn't click. I don't know. Kirk Cousins, you know, he's a steady quarterback. Not that great at home, but fairly decent on the road. They got him at 7.5, 8. I think both these teams are 6-win teams. One of them might top 7, but I'd definitely go the under 7.5 or 8 on both. All right, moving on to my division, the NFC North, with the Green Bay Packers, Detroit Lions, Minnesota Vikings, and Chicago Bears. Now, Green Bay, Aaron Rodgers, that's all I need to say. You know, he might start off slow and finish strong like he does the last couple seasons. But, you know, they got it at 10 wins. How do you go against that? You can't. I've seen him winning. You know, some people say they might be in a slump this year, but, you know, I hear it the last couple years. He's the only star they got, really, you know, Aaron Rodgers. But, you know, they got some, you know, decent players, too. You know, like Clinton Dix on defense. So, you know, I know this roster like the back of my hand. So, that being said, I'm not going under or over what they got on Green Bay at 10. Detroit and Minnesota, they're both at 8, 8.5. I would definitely go the over on this. The strength of schedule for this division, you know, for these two teams, Minnesota 27th ranked and Detroit 21st ranked, so they're not playing winners. You know. So, you know, Matt Stafford, you know, solid quarterback for Detroit Lions. Sam Bradford, another Dinkin' Duck quarterback. You know, Bridgewater probably won't start this season, but they got him rostered at that second position. So we'll see how that plays out. See how well Bradford does. If Bridgewater plays at all this season. But both of them, like 8, I think they both have a shot of taking over Green Bay, and both of them, you know, or either or coming second. And of course they play each other, but I think because of this whole division, I think those 3 teams can easily, all 3 teams can easily go over 8 wins, you know? And they did last year. So last year Minnesota was 8-8, Detroit was 9-7, and Green Bay was 10-6. So they can easily do it again with a lesser schedule than they had last year. And the Chicago Bears, Glennon from the Bucks starting. They got Trubisky and the butt fumble, Sanchez. So Glennon, you know, living in Tampa for so long, I've seen him. You know, he has good games and he has some bad games. You know, but while he's in Tampa, he had better receivers, where you don't have them in Chicago. So I don't think they won 3 games last year. I don't think, you know, 5 games is like right on the mark, I think, you know. So I'm going to stay away from that, and I would just go with the Detroit and Minnesota over the 8 or 8.5 points. All right, and you got the NFC South next with the Atlanta Falcons, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, New Orleans Saints, and the Carolina Panthers. Atlanta, great team last year. You know, Atlanta's always died in the fourth quarter. So if you're banking on that halftime, you know, that New England plus 14 like I did last season, you knew Atlanta just dies in the fourth quarter. They've done it. I've seen them play Detroit and died in the fourth quarter in London. I've seen them all the time. They have a substantial lead and just die in the fourth quarter. I don't know why that happens, but they try to sit on the ball and they just do not do it well. So, but this year they got the win totals at 9.5. I think they'll win about 9 or 10 games. They got a little bit stronger schedule than last year, They came 11 wins, so take out a win or two. Yeah, Vegas got it right, so stay away from that one. Moving on to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers with Jameis Winston. A lot of people think they're going to do well this year, and they actually got a stronger schedule, the 14 strength of schedule, so they're playing stronger teams. Now, granted, they have a great wide receiving core, but their defense don't play that well. Their defense is really bad. So same with the Saints. Saints too. They buffed up their offense, but not their defense. So not too much, So I don't see either of these teams, doing well. So I got win totals at the most 7 for Tampa Bay and New Orleans, and Vegas got them both 8.5 and 8. So I would lean more, since they got Tampa Bay 8.5, and a lot of people are riding the Bucs this year, and I hope they do well. I like the Bucs, but I don't see them. They won 9 games last year, but they had a lesser schedule last year. So this year, I think they're not going to do as well. So I'm knocking them at 7. So that's my key bet for this division, is the Tampa Bay at under 8.5 wins. Carolina, man, that's a team you just don't know what they're going to do. Cam Newton's, he's got a good season, he's got a bad season. I don't know. He had a really tough schedule last year after going Super Bowl, playing all top-ranked teams. You don't have that this year, so they might do a little bit better. Vegas they won 6 games last year. I got them at 7 or 8. Using the lesser schedule from last year, but Vegas got them at 8.5. So just stay away from them, because I don't know what they're gonna do this year. And last but not least, we're going to the NFC West with the Seattle Seahawks, Arizona Cardinals, the Los Angeles Rams, and the San Francisco 49ers. All right. Seattle picked to win the division, obviously 7-2 to win the Super Bowl, and with a win total of 10, has a losing schedule. Say 25th ranked, 32 teams. So they should definitely win their division. Arizona, same with them, 23 ranked, with the pick to win 8. Last year, they got them. If you look at last year wins compared to what the win totals is on this division, it's pretty close, and they're predicting to do the same thing. I would say, because of the strength of schedule, it's going to be too close for this division altogether, all the way around. I got the Seattle at 9 or 10 wins, along with Arizona again, 9 or 10 wins. You might want to go over maybe on the Arizona. The Rams, good defense but horrible offense with Goff and they got Dan Orlovsky now, that the Lions' old quarterback. Horrible. And then if Goff don't pan out, Orlovsky at least lead the team. And San Francisco, they got Hoyer and Matt Barkley, I think. And so they're getting rid of Colin Kaepernick. No one will sign him. That's what happens when you stand out in the crowd. So no one wants that. And San Francisco's rebuilding, new coaching staff, everything again. I think the only 2 wins they won last year were against the Rams, I believe. 2 games in the division. So the Rams, that was the only game. They lost every other game. So I still got San Francisco with a lesser schedule. Maybe winning 4 games, and then Rams 5 games. So I would just stay away from any futures bets from this division at all. And as a Super Bowl bet, just looking back, of all the teams in the division, how do you not pick New England? New England would definitely go into the playoffs, no doubt about it. And they have the skill set to make it to the Super Bowl again. It's kind of hard to believe or hard to bet on a team that win back-to-back Super Bowls. It's so hard and uncommon to do, unless they have something happens to Brady. But even the backup, looks great. Garoppolo looks so good. I mean, he could replace Brady, at least do a halfway decent team. So I mean, so in New England, so the odds are 11-4. I wouldn't touch that. Wouldn't be worth it. But on the NFC side, who could win the Super Bowl? You have Seattle the best. I wouldn't pick them. But maybe a Dallas or Green Bay, that might be worth it. Might be worth a buck at 8-1 or 9-1. So you never know who's gonna win. That's why we watch the game. So thanks for tuning in. Again, links in below description. Stay tuned to my channel. I'm gonna have some great video content this season. And again, SBR forums. I will be a part of their team. So stay tuned for that as well. And I will see you in a couple weeks.